In this video, we're going to be replicating pumpkin pasties, just like the ones I ate at the Warner Brothers Studio Tour, The Making of Harry Potter. First, we start off with a 425 gram can of natural pumpkin, which I believe is 15 ounces. We then add 170 grams of granulated sugar, which I believe is just over 3/4 of a cup. Then into a separate bowl, just so I can measure it accurately, I add half a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a half a teaspoon of ground ginger, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves, and then we add that to the pumpkin and sugar. As I'm making these vegan, I opted for a can of coconut condensed milk, which is 440 grams, but of course you can use regular condensed milk too. Once it's all added, give that a quick mix together. And then usually the recipe requires to make pumpkin pie 2 eggs. But in substitute to make this vegan, I added 2 tablespoons of corn flour and mix it all together until it is smooth. Then over a medium to high heat, stirring consistently, I cook the mixture. This is after 10 minutes to give you an idea, but it's still far too runny. So I need to cook that for another further 10 minutes. After 20 minutes, you'll notice it starts sticking together. It's almost like balling together like toffee. This is the consistency that we want, very thick, just so that this doesn't seep out when we bake that in the oven in the pastry. So remove that from the heat and directly into a heat-proof Tupperware or container. Put that straight in there. Be sure to protect your countertop and also to be careful because this is very, very hot. I smooth that out with a teaspoon and then I'll leave that to completely cool. So I can even do it the day before you want to make the pumpkin pasties. So if you're making a big batch of pumpkin pasties, I would line 2 sheets of baking trays with baking parchment. Using pre-made short crust pastry and a 98mm cookie cutter, cut out as many rounds as you can. And now using the cooled pumpkin mix with 2 teaspoons, because it is very sticky, fold over each of the rounds to give you a guide of where to place the pumpkin, and scoop around a teaspoon and put it onto one side of the round. And fold that over. And I'll show you how we seal that in just a moment. So I thought I'd make it quicker just if I fold them all over just to give a guide. See how I pat them down. And fill each of the sides with approximately a teaspoon of the pumpkin mix. Folding that over, we're now going to seal that. I really enjoy doing this. So just by pinching it, using your finger and thumb, just seals that mixture inside. Once they're all sealed, using a knife, prick around 3 holes into each of them so we let the steam escape during the baking process. Usually they require an egg wash, but I opted for using some oat milk and I just brushed them over the pumpkin pasties. I'm just going to do it on the ones on the right so you can see, because I don't always find you need to do this, but I'll show you the difference of what it looks like once it's baked and you can decide whether you decide to do that or not. Pop those into a preheated oven, which is 200 centigrade, 180 centigrade fan oven, or 392 Fahrenheit. Rolling out the remaining pastry, I was able to make approximately 3 more pumpkin pasties out of that. And instead of baking these, I actually decided to freeze them. And in the future, I'm going to then defrost them and then I can bake them. So I have some, if I want a quick pumpkin pasty snack, then I can have these pre-made. So you can do this for future. As you can see, there is loads of pumpkin mix left over. So I'm going to batch make quite a few of them and freeze them for future so I can have them handy from whenever I want. Here they are straight out of the oven after approximately half an hour. You can see the ones on the right are the ones with the oat milk wash. As you can see, they don't make a load of difference, but if you want to do that, then feel free to add that. Giving a light dusting of powdered sugar. There we are, the finished pumpkin pasties. They are delicious. The pastry is very crispy and the inside is sweet. A nice little treat that Hogwarts students can enjoy on their way back from Hogwarts for summer or on the way to when term starts in September again. Hope you make these. Let me know how you find them. Enjoy.